They burned my barn, bulldozed my cabin, and sold my family land to a developer while I was fighting a war overseas. Then they said I was some homeless vet and filed a restraining order on me. But what they didn't know was I wasn't just coming home. I was coming for war. Name's Luke Granger, Army Staff Sergeant, born and raised in Sierra Vista, Arizona. My family's owned that 50-acre patch of desert for 3 generations. It wasn't fancy, just a weathered log cabin, a red barn my dad built with his bare hands, and a grove of mesquites where I used to ride horses and watch the sunset with my old man. I left it all behind for my 3rd tour, thinking it'd be waiting when I came back. I was wrong. The day I returned, duffels still slung over my shoulder, boots caked with the dust of Kuwait, I stood on the road and didn't recognize the land. The fence was gone, so was the barn, and in its place, a chain-link wall with a crooked sign that read, "Private Property, Sundown Ridge, HOA." My knees went weak. I thought I was going to puke right there on the gravel. My buddy and neighbor Mike Bowers, a retired Marine with a service dog named Moose, he was supposed to keep an eye on the place. I called him from the gas station outside town. He didn't even say hi, just whispered, "Luke, I'm so sorry, man. They sold it. They bulldozed everything." Turns out while I was away, a new HOA president rolled into town, Karen Devereaux. Sharp blazer, platinum hair, smug as hell. She moved in like she owned the whole county, said she was cleaning up blight. My land wasn't even in her district, but that didn't stop her. She claimed it was abandoned, took a few pictures of chipped paint and weeds at the gate, and got her sleazy lawyer, Todd Rayner, to draft a forged deed saying I was MIA. They even filed it with the county. Fast-tracked, no court, no notice, nothing. Mike tried to stop it, sent emails, filed a report. They ignored him, called him a nosy old man. But he kept receipts. When I got to his trailer, he handed me a thick file. Photos, fake notices, voicemail logs, even screenshots of the county listing the land under Sundown Ridge HOA Holdings, LLC. I flipped through, barely breathing. And then he played a video from a whistleblower, a foreman hired to clear the land. In it, Karen was walking across the bulldozed dirt, pointing where she wanted the clubhouse. And she said, "Once this place is done, no one's going to remember who used to live here. Probably just some homeless vet." I remember cracking my knuckles so loud, Moose growled. That night I couldn't sleep. I lay on Mike's couch, staring at the ceiling while my brain ran hot. I didn't just want the land back. I wanted justice. Next morning, Mike's phone buzzed. He answered and went pale. "Luke," he said, "Karen just filed a restraining order against you." I hadn't even seen her yet, but she claimed I'd shown up unstable, threatening violence. A deputy came that afternoon, asked if I was armed. I said, "Just with truth and paperwork." He didn't laugh, hauled me in for questioning. Down at the station, they showed me security footage of someone yelling at the construction site 2 days ago, but I wasn't even stateside then. I was still in Kuwait. I slammed a sealed envelope on the desk, my re-entry papers, dated and stamped. The detective raised a brow. "You might be onto something," he said. "This smells dirty." But still, no action. That's when Daniel Briggs entered the fight. Former JAG, now runs a small law office in Tucson helping vets in legal trouble. I laid it all out. He didn't blink. "Oh, they messed up," he muttered. Within days, he filed an injunction, froze construction, and started digging. That's when we struck gold. Karen's emails to the developer. She said, "Don't worry about the paperwork. The soldiers overseas won't be back for months." The war got ugly. Every time we moved, she countered. Security guards at the site. Arson at Mike's trailer. Burned it to the frame while he was out walking moose. No witnesses, no cameras. But I knew. That wasn't random. That was war. So I took it public. I stood at the fence line with Mike filming, looked straight into the camera, and said, "My name is Luke Granger. I served this country for 17 years. And while I was deployed, a homeowners association I never joined stole my land, destroyed my home, and sold it." That video hit 300,000 views by sunrise. Veterans across the country reached out. Some offered lawyers. Some offered donations. One guy from Texas offered to show up with a bullhorn and a truck full of receipts. Karen tried to save face, held a press conference outside the construction zone, claimed they'd followed procedures and believed the land was abandoned. But we were just getting started. Then came the real twist. A young woman in the courtroom, early 20s, nervous as hell, stood up during the hearing and asked to speak. She was Lindsay Carter, former assistant to the developer, Darrell Green. She had a black briefcase full of files, emails, recordings, payment logs. She testified that Karen and Darrell had been planning this land grab for 2 years. They joked about mailing fake notices to soldiers overseas, knowing we couldn't respond in time. The whole room went silent. Then she dropped the bomb. A wire transfer of $20,000 from Sundown Ridge HOA to the county clerk's personal account, marked property facilitation bonus. The judge recessed immediately. Media swarmed. Protesters lined the courthouse steps. I stood there in my old boots, heart pounding as strangers clapped me on the back and reporters shouted questions. When court resumed, the judge's tone was different. Cold. Furious. He restored ownership of the land to me, effective immediately, ordered an audit of the HOA and the developer, and escalated everything to federal investigators. But the battle wasn't done. Karen vanished, missed the next hearing, filed bankruptcy to stall the case. Her lawyer said she was under medical care. Then an envelope showed up at Daniel's office. No return address. Inside, a drone photo of my land, a red X over the cabin site, and a typed note. "This isn't the end." I stared at that note like it was ticking. Moose growled. Mike locked the doors. But we didn't run. We went louder. Daniel and I launched a campaign, Operation Ground Game. We uploaded every document, started a fundraiser to rebuild Mike's home. Veterans groups offered help. One group even delivered a tiny house to my land as a temp shelter. On the door was a note. From one soldier to another, stand your ground. Then came the call. Karen had been intercepted at a remote airstrip in New Mexico, in custody, and she was talking. Turns out, she wasn't the mastermind. Just the middle link in a bigger chain. Multiple HOAs, developers, zoning clerks, across 4 states, had been targeting deployed service members and the elderly, forging claims to abandoned properties. My case cracked the dam. Subpoenas flew. Arrests followed. Darrell Green, handcuffed and hiding from cameras. 2 county clerks booked. I was flown to D.C. to testify before the Senate. They passed the Deployed Property Protection Act within a month. But me? I still had ashes where my cabin stood. So when a group of veteran builders showed up with tools, steel, and a mission to rebuild for free, I nearly broke down. We rebuilt the cabin, replanted the grove, even added a swing like the one Dad carved years ago. Then, just when I thought the storm had passed, a black car pulled up across the road. tinted windows, out-of-state plates. It idled, then drove off. No words, no threat, just a message. You want to know what it said to me? Still watching. So, who's really in control now?